So now I would feel awful for her. Yeah.
All right.
Coffee a lot.
And that is our live vid. Come like.
There we go.
Come like. Lance.
Great.
All right, so that's
a
good.
wall out of Applebee's.
Oh, we gotta talk about that too.
Well, that's nice. Already.
The other
done?
part of the wall's out there,
Oh.
with the lights in front of it, and those
Okay.
are the lights out of the Applebee's
Okay.
too.
Okay.
When you see it now, you'll be like, yeah, I see that.
Right.
Because along the bar with the high top tables,
Yeah.
that's their wall.
Nice catch. That
Thank
was
you,
good.
thank you. All right, let's do this one more again. Let's put that down. This is what I get for being on my stuff all the time and not charging it. All right, that's my fault.
Hey, we'll learn for next
Alright.
time, and that's all that matters.
Cool. That's great content. Anyway.
There you go.
All
Real
right.
life. Everyone wants
That's
to
good.
see real
I'll
life.
look there. We're good there. That's plugged in. We're not gonna lose that. Oh, and I'll grab your water, Kelsey.
Oh, that was actually your. Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, that was.
And
you.
Rebecca, water.
No.
Okay. And Anchor, turn that on. That's why I was pulling this up. All right. So we will be. Our audio is going to be released right away. The live's going to be live, and the video will release in a couple hours. Jean's going to come here. We're going to meet and do all this stuff. So yeah, cool. I mean, of course, I'm going to be sitting out anyway. So Anchors, this is exciting.
This is exciting. Good morning, everybody. Good.
Oh right, but yeah, we're live, so you guys can like,
Yes,
talk to
okay.
the.
Hello.
Like, talk to them. Say,
I'm on. Yeah.
Talking about Applebee's.
Yeah. Just their wall.
Yeah.
Just
there
their
we go.
wall.
Just.
Boom. All right then. Hello Tucson, and welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo. We're about to get started. Thanks so much for joining us. So we'll put that there.
Yes, and I've got my timer on, so.
Cool. And we're just gonna get started here. I think you look good. You look good. We look good. No way. I'm gonna come up that way. More you. There you go. One more there.
Perfect.
All right. And we're balanced up there. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Hello, Tucson, and welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo, a podcast focused on sharing the inspirational stories of Tucson's most interesting people and their local businesses. I'm Jermaine, founder of Imperion Partners, a small business organization, and we believe anyone can monetize their passion.
And I am Kelsey. I am owner of kelseyfarley.com, a local Tucson blogger, and I like to showcase local businesses, and so I think this is going to be great and excited to get started.
Thank you for having me. I'm Margie, and I own Bakker Coffee, and that's where we're at today.
Right on. So what we like to, all this is about promotion. The more people who know you exist, the more people are going to come in and buy this delicious coffee. My favorite, Mexicali latte, Margie's Mexicali. You can ask for that. There's a whole bunch of sweet stuff in it. You got to make sure you get that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now.
Okay, so it's really neat that we're doing this today. It's Monday, and on Monday from open to close, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., Big Heart Coffee likes to promote and thank our first responders. And the first responders include anyone you would call in an emergency. That would be your veterinarian, the people who work at the animal clinic, firemen, ambulance workers, the police, the border patrol, our military, just anybody that you would think of that you would want to be there for you in an emergency. It covers all of it. And I don't care if it's the people who work in the laboratory who are getting your blood results back to you, your x-ray technicians, the people that are cleaning the rooms. If they're needed in an emergency situation, it all counts
Oh,
as
when
a
it comes
first
to health,
responder.
you know, it's an emergency. That's
Yes.
awesome. And why are you so, like, why this 40% for the first responders?
Because especially right now, I mean, I've always done it since I opened the shop, but I think it's even more important right now to show that appreciation, because we're living in a time where just people are scared, they're angry, and that gets communicated so fast. The positivity just, even though I believe it exists, I don't believe it gets communicated as much or as effectively.
Right.
And it's just,
Wow.
it's the little bit I can do. And I like to try the idea that each one of us can do a little bit. If each one of us does a little bit, it can actually make a big impact.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take much.
Agreed. Frederick Nietzsche said, if we all clean our own porches, the whole world will be spotless, or something like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly.
And I know a lot of them go they feel unnoticed. They feel like what they're doing every day does not, is not seen. And so I feel like even just a little bit of kindness towards them is great.
Absolutely. And I do hear it. I mean, I'm under a mile from the police substation. Around the way is the Border Patrol and the military base. I hear stories about, you know, people yelling things at them or throwing things at them when they're just walking down the street. And let's face it, we're all trying to do our jobs and feed our families at the end of the day. That shouldn't be made any more difficult for anybody, but especially somebody who's actually putting their life on the line to make sure you go home to your family safely. I mean, that's just not okay. I'm not okay with that. And I definitely want to encourage others to show their positive feelings towards these people. They deserve it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Be kind.
Yes.
So, who is Margie Bakker? Where'd you grow up?
Well, growing up, we moved a lot, so I was really never from anywhere. The longest my family ever lived any place was 2 years, and the shortest amount of time was only 3 months, so we moved constantly. I did run away from home at 16. I came from a pretty rough family. And so from 16 till in my 30s, I did live in Chicago, and that was the most at home I've probably ever felt any place. But I did come back here to Tucson when my mom found out she had cancer and MS. Her and my father were living overseas at the time, but they'd had a house here in Tucson that they were planning on ultimately retiring and dying in. And because it was her time, this is where she wanted to be. So I came to take care of my mother.
That's incredible.
Wow. And then how'd you wind up transitioning into being a business owner and getting into Big Heart Coffee?
This is always something I kind of wanted to do. I've been married once before. I'm married for the second time now. But they owned a bar and grill back in Chicago, and even though they owned the bar and grill, it had been in his family for generations, like since Prohibition. And even though they owned it, everybody had their own jobs. My father-in-law worked with the Teamsters. My ex-husband was with the Vice unit in Chicago. So when his grandmother got a little long in the tooth to do it herself, because that was her business.
Long in the tooth?
94.
Oh.
But she was still walking and tooling around. She did the books herself. I mean,
I've just never heard the phrase before.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. And so I got kind of pushed into that, but you know, with the divorce, I also lost a job too. It wasn't my business, you know. When I came here to Tucson, I've worked for a number of other people, and I worked for one place in particular. They're no longer around, but she was very focused on giving back to the community as well, giving meals to homeless people, and then doing charity work. And working there, you were expected to do your part as well, working within, she did work with Tihan, she did work with SAF, she did work.
What's Tihan in the South?
Tihan is actually an organization, oh gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot. I know that they help people that are living with HIV/AIDS. SAF is the Southern Arizona Food Bank.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we were expected to do our part, you know, as part of the, even though I worked in the front of the house, you had extra responsibilities because that was part of her vision. I got to meet people within those organizations and carry it on, here, which that's actually part of what I'm trying to do here is take a piece of that. And the people who own Big Heart Coffee before me were doing it where they were sponsoring one charity a month. And so I'm taking pieces of all of that, but trying to make it reach further. And instead of doing one a month, I have quite a few that I do ongoing, but then we have ones that we move in and out at different times. Like at the beginning of the school year, when there's school, we have the school supply drive, or when it gets cold out, I do always have the blankets and the coats drive. At the holidays, I always have the big thing for the food. I have the food ongoing anyway, but I just find people are a lot more generous at the holidays, so I make the most of it while I can.
Right, and when you say that, you mean people coming here to donate food for families?
Yes.
The second I walked in this morning, I was completely immersed with local artists, and it's just incredible that I've never been to a place that had so much of a diverse look into that aspect of Tucson. And it's really, how do you go about finding the people that want to showcase their art here?
I actually let most of them follow me, or it's word of mouth how I find the different artists. And the artists that I want to promote, or the people who are doing their own thing at home, because like the little clay pigs, even they're handmade, they're still art and in its own way, but you can purchase it at a more affordable price than some of the other pieces are a little more costly. But I like to promote the ones where they don't have their own platform. If they're already in a gallery, if they've already in a store, if they're already being produced at a factory, they don't need me. These are the little people doing it from their homes and trying to figure out how to get their product out there. That's actually who I want to give a platform to.
That's great.
And that even goes with my coffee roasters and everything. I have the ones that don't have their own coffee shop attached. I like to focus on those more.
And what are some of your coffee roasters?
I do use, I do have Arbuckles, I do have Yellow Brick, I have Loving Labor now, that's a newer one. I do work with a couple of brothers, their last name is Stack. I have Coffee Over Cardio. And Coffee City as well.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
And that will, as the community changes, I kind of see the shop should evolve and change as well, and that goes for the art and the items that we have.
Seasons, you go through different seasons for sure.
And what people want to see and what people are doing, even it changes, so the shop should evolve and change with all of that.
I love that.
And how you can continue to connect with people and sort of stay engaged in the community, especially since we've had a year of the pandemic, things are coming out, but we're still like sort of scraping through. And as a coffee shop that needs traffic, you need people to come in consistently, and it's every day, every 24 hours. How are you maintaining? How's it been?
We've had some white knuckle moments. I mean, definitely white knuckle. A lot of it is, again, it's word of mouth. It is reaching out to different organizations. I have been really fortunate, and a lot of organizations have actually reached out to me. They see different things that I've done, or they like different things that I've done, and approached me to promote me in their own ways as well. Which that's kind of what it's all about. It's all about community, which again, that's what I want. Is I want us to all be a community and to come together to make each other better. It's not only for me. I tell people I want to be a community coffee shop. This isn't my coffee shop. I happen to own it, but what I have in here and the people who come in here, the shop is what they want it to be. So if they want more art, or if they want more teas all of a sudden, those are things I'm going to do. Even though I'm called a coffee shop, I'm trying to make it what the people in this community want the shop to be.
That is awesome. So 50 Cent had this interesting concept. He's going to sell, well, it doesn't now. He sells energy drinks and each energy drink is 3 meals to the World Food Program, and he's looking to feed 1 billion people, right? He's been doing this for like 7 or 8 years. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, that's such a good concept, and that's this concept. So my question is, because you've been able to, you're not just generating income for yourself, you know, and for your business, but you're still donating percentages here and there to people. You donate your time, energy, and effort and all marketing to all these things that isn't Big Heart Coffee. For someone who is listening to this and going, I could never do that. That's too overwhelmed. What is like some advice you would give for them to kind of start in the direction where you're not just doing for you, but along your path, you're still doing for others in their community?
Well, I never came into this with the idea that I was going to get rich, because I'm not. I mean, there's, like I said, there's some times where I'm white knuckling it from month to month. So I think having a realistic view of what it's going to be like is one thing you have to do. And again, when people come to me and they are wanting to do something, sometimes I have actually said, well, I know this person who's already doing this. All I have to do is ask them to help me. And and by giving them credit when they do help you, then people are willing to help you. It gives them the shout out that they need, but I'm getting something from it too. Like you yourself had said something about putting out about pamphlets or flyers here in the neighborhood, and I happened to have been contacted by this community's welcome wagon about putting that into people's mailers that are moving into the neighborhood. I'd already had somebody approach me, so now we have 3 people working on something, but we have somebody who does it professionally helping us out.
That's great.
And it's already what they do, so it couldn't be done better. I couldn't do better myself because I've never done it.
Yeah.
So let the people who are most able to do it, but and of course her advertising is going to be on there as it should be. So every time she puts it out there, I may be getting a customer that comes in and buys a cup of coffee, but they're not going to forget where it came from either. So again, we're coming together as a community.
Win-win situation.
I think it is. And, plus the people in the community are more aware of the resources that are available in their community. When she did say she wanted to do that, people who move into the neighborhood, they can get a free cup of coffee. That's great. But I said, I also want you to put in there, because people who are moving, they find there's a lot of stuff that they don't want or doesn't work in their new home. Well, if it still has a life in it, there's somebody also who can use that, and I did ask her to add that on there. So just looking at and recognizing opportunities. They're out there. Sometimes you have to look a little harder than others, but they're out there, and you have to swallow your ego sometimes and admit that you need those other people's help and resources, because nobody's doing it on their own. Nobody. You can't.
And it's so easy to want to do everything yourself and carry on and try to carry everything on your back, but it gets to the point where if people are offering to help you, you might as well take that when you can. And
I agree.
So yeah, that's wonderful.
That's awesome. And if you want to maintain the relationships that you have to maintain in order to have, because how many artists would you say in general here? 40 or 50?
I have quite a few. Some of them I have more continuous relationships than I do others. Some of them, frankly, are better at maintaining that relationship than others are. It's work. It's work. Most of the people that I work with, I genuinely like on top of it, which helps a great deal.
Agreed.
So, and it can be very easy though. One of the artists, I'll keep names out of it, but her father died. Just hope you're doing all right. I haven't heard from her for a while. I understand why. She was decent enough to let me know why I'm not getting new product in from her, and it doesn't take too much just to let somebody know that that you care.
Mm.
And you have to genuinely care. If you don't, you can't fake it. I don't think it can be faked.
No.
Wow.
Authenticity is something that people are really looking for nowadays. Truly wanting to trust who they're looking up to, who they're following and supporting. And then if they find out you come across and you're not as authentic as you say you are, it's impactful. It really
Yeah.
is.
Awesome. Wow. So that was great. That was great, and a great way to wrap up too. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening as well, everyone. Any final words to the people out there, to fellow business owners who are also looking to build community and who are looking to really just grow themselves, but not just grow themselves, grow the environment around them?
Just look at and listen to the people that are out there, because your customers will tell you what they want or what they'd like to see, as well as your merchandisers. They come and they have new ideas. Some of them work for what you're doing and some of them don't. That's the hard part, is sometimes you have to just tell people that's not a fit for what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's the unpleasantness, is having to tell somebody you're just not a fit for what I'm trying to do. But you have to have that awareness of who you are, what you are, and where you want to go.
Right on.
And sometimes that's having to say no, as well as yes. Be open to it. Be open to what's coming your way.
Awesome. Thanks so much. That was awesome. So come to Big Heart Coffee. They have sandwiches, breakfast, lunch,
Yes.
coffee,
Pastries.
shakes,
Mugs
pastries.
as big as your head.
Yes. If you want art, if you
Yes.
want to rent this space that we're in, you can't really see it, and of course, if you're listening, you can't see it at all.
We have a meeting room
But it's
that holds,
gorgeous.
the city says up to 69 people. Of course, right now we have to maintain social distancing, so it's for smaller groups right now.
Right on. And what else? Oh, artists. Art if you want to buy art. Jewelry if you want to buy jewelry from artists. There's soaps. 2 different types of soaps if you want
Yes.
to buy. Homemade, local soaps. Support the local artists. We have maker items. We have candles here. Lots of things. You need to just walk in. How about this? How about you come to Big Heart Coffee and you look for yourself?
Yeah, there's a lot, and it changes all the time, always changing.
Yes.
Perfect.
Always changes. Thanks so much for joining
Thank
us,
you for
Margie.
having me.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you all so much. Anything else?
No, I think that's great.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Tucson.
So I'm the one that messaged
Bye.
you on Instagram.
I remember.
Yes. So we'll
See, I picked up on it.
You
I knew
did.
it.
So I think I have it on my schedule of what month I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be doing a business each month. So
Okay.
So I'll message you when I get back home.
Oops.
Okay.
Out of
I need to work on my
phone.
intro.
I used to read the outro.
I was a bit nervous.
That's
That's a good one. Oh, I know. We haven't ended it fully.
We're stumbling around.
Oh, yes. Okay.